So today we are going to see 4 keywords. We already seen it. Once again we will see here. So keywords, so far we have come up with 4 keywords. New, this, static and final. So first 2 we already know. What is the use of new keyword? It is used to create new objects. It will actually allocate memory for that particular object, and at the same time it calls the constructor. We know the statement in the program. Class name, object name equal to new constructor of. Like that only we will write our code. Okay, wow? This is the definition for the keyword new. And this keyword, it is used to refer the current object or current instance. Okay, wow? These 2 we already know. And other 2 are static and final. Static also we defined somewhere in the previous classes. So once a variable is defined as static, we call that variable as types of variables we seen it. Class variables. What are class variables? The variable which declared as static we call as class variables or static fields. You can refer the previous class notes. That variables class. Instance variable, class variable, local variable and parameter. Okay. So the variable which declared as static is called as class variable, and it is common for all the objects created under that class. It can be accessed without creating any object. That is why we are defining our main method as a static method. So static keyword is applicable for both variable and method. So if a variable or a method is defined as static, it can be accessed without creating object. So from class we can directly access it. Okay, wow. And another keyword is final. So it is used to declare the constant. Constant in the sense we can't change the value for that particular variable. Okay. And also it prevent method overriding and it will prevent class inheritance. I will explain these concepts later when we are going with these concepts, overriding and inheritance concepts. At that time I will explain how it works with the keyword final. Okay, wow? So as of now you just know the definition for all these keywords, new, this, static and final. Do you have any doubts? So we will already do some programs using new and this keyword. Okay. So today we will see about static and final. So here see the code. So I am creating one class called keywords and defining 2 data members, one member as static and another member as final. Okay. So as already told, final data member is a constant, it is not a variable. That means we can't change the value for that particular variable. That's why I need to initialize some value while declaring this variable as final. If suppose I am not assigning any values or initializing any values here, it throws some error. It says that blank final field may not have been initialized. You need to initialize, that means we need to assign some value that will be final for that particular variable. Okay. So for example, I am assigning some value 100. So once it is initialized, I can't change the value of this particular variable last value. And here I am having shared value it is declared as static. That means it is common for all the objects created for this class keywords, and also I can access this shared value without creating object. Through the class keywords itself I can access. Okay. So now in my main method I am trying to create one object OB1 for the class keywords. Okay. I am calling the default constructor and I try to print the value of the variable shared value. Okay. So since shared value variable is a static variable, I can access directly through the class. So that's why keywords dot shared value. What might be the output or for this line? Keywords dot shared value plus plus. What will be printed while executing this line number 10? 1 or 0. So what is the initial value for shared value? Default value is 0 for the type integer. So here it will print 0 because I am putting plus plus in the back side at the end. That means post increment. So after completion of the execution of this line only it will be incremented. So here it will print value 0. Then next I am trying to print the same shared value. I am trying to access this using object. Through object I am accessing the shared value. So I can access through object also. Okay, without object also I can access, through object also I can access. So now what will be the output? What is the value of shared value now? 1. Okay. Then again I am trying to print the value of shared value through the class. Just to demonstrate only I am putting like this code. Okay. No intention to access this static variable by class and by object. For understanding only I am writing like this. One time I am accessing through object, one time I am accessing through class. To explain that static variable can be accessed both the ways. Okay. And I am creating another object 2, and trying to print the value of shared value. What will be printed in this line? So first line it is 0, next it is 1, next it is 2. Now the question is what will be printed here? 0 or 3? Why 0? It is another object. Okay, that's why it is 0. How many of you say 3? No 3. All are saying that it is 0. Okay, let us check later. Okay, and similarly I am trying to print the value of last value. It is defined as final. It can be accessed only through the object. Okay, so object 1 dot last value. If I am trying to modify the value of the last value, I am just trying to increment the value, it will show some error. Last value cannot be assigned, that means cannot be modified. Okay, so I can't modify the value of the variable defined as final. Any doubts? No doubts. Okay, so everyone say that here it will print 0. Let's check. So Java C driver keywords dot java driver keywords. So first 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, not 0, then last value it printed as 100. Why it is 3 not 0? I already told that if a variable is a static variable, it is a class variable and it is common for all the objects. It is common for all the objects. So if a particular object is accessing that variable and change the value, and next time another object trying to access that variable, the last modified value will be there. It is not only meant for one single object, it is common for all the objects. So if any object is changing some value of a static variable, it will be reflected in all the time. If another object is trying to access, the changed value only will be printed. That is why the last class, while creating some final static objects, a static variable, I put final in the place of department name in first class. Final static string department name equal to, department equal to, I put DME, because I don't want to change the value and it is common for all the objects. That's why I put as final. It is not necessary to all the static variables to be in final mode. Okay. But if it is static, we can change the value through any object. The last modified value will be in the particular variable. Okay, well, if you are creating a new object, then actually what I told, the class variables having only one memory. For all the objects we are creating, it will create one reference to that particular memory. It won't create a duplicate copy. If it is creating a duplicate copy, then only we can get the value 0. But it is a single memory location, commonly shared, commonly accessed by all the objects. Okay, wa? So that's why the variable name itself I put as shared value. It is shared by all the objects. Any doubts?